Hey, what's up everybody, Retro Gaming Guy here. Today in this video, I'm super stoked to dive in with you guys and finally unbox, demo, and review the Beelink Ser7 Max mini PC. So up until this point, the Ser6 Max from Beelink has been my all-time favorite mini PC. I love the performance with that. I love the layout and design of it. Just altogether, it creates an amazing experience. But I feel like the Ser7 Max could definitely dethrone it today. So we're going to unbox this, take a look at what it offers us, internally, externally, and then we're going to give it a full performance test with a wide range of games. We'll go into some retro titles, we'll go into some modern day titles, and we'll see where we line up here in terms of performance. But before we do that, I want to talk about the incredible specs that this mini PC offers. So right here you can see we have the AMD Ryzen 7 7840HS processor. That's 8 cores, 16 threads, and speeds of up to 5.1 gigahertz, which is incredible. We've got 32 gigabyte DDR5 RAM, a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD installed within, running Windows 11 Pro, and we have the Radeon 780M GPU. So specs on here look outstanding, but we got to unbox this. Let's get started. All right, guys, so here we go. Let's get started unboxing this. Always love the way that everything is put together so nicely from Beelink. See, we get a nice little hello here as we open this up. And we have our user manual right up here at the top. I love that Beelink doesn't use generic manuals, because oftentimes we get like the same insert or same manuals in here for every single product that's offered from companies. So this is always tailored to exactly what is being offered here. It shows you all the different ports on here. It shows you how you can actually mount this to the backside of your monitor if you wanted to. Let's see what else we've got. It shows you how to do literally everything that you would need to do here. It even shows you how to go inside and make adjustments to your SSD or install additional memory in there if you want to. You can literally tackle any of the tasks necessary here. It comes in a bunch of different languages as well. So here is how it's actually laid out within. We have this nice little string here, which helps you remove that. So we're going to set that aside for right now. Let's see what cables are included in here. So you can see everything is neatly organized within. So first cable coming out, we have our power supply cable. And I love the fact that we have this magnetic connection, which I'm going to show you guys how we can connect momentarily. We also have our mounting bracket, which in the manual walks through how you can actually go ahead and mount this to the backside of a monitor, to the side of a desk, to literally whatever you want to mount it to. We also have two HDMI cables here. We have a short one right here. So if you're just setting this up in a really small, tight area, then you can use this. You don't have to have all this excess cable. And then we have our regular HDMI cable here with a lot more length to it. So I'm going to go ahead and put those away here. Let me clean up the area, and then we're going to obviously dive into this and see exactly what this offers. And I'll show you, of course, how you can go ahead and connect your power supply cable with that magnetic connection. All right, guys, so here is our mini PC, and got this little protective plastic over the entire thing here. So I'm going to just neatly try to slide that out of here. There we go. Perfect. All right. So this is very heavy. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but it definitely has some weight to it. Definitely feels like it's well made. And this entire thing is metal. So there's no plastic anywhere on the surface here. So looking at the front of this, we have over here our headphone jacks. We can plug in our headset over here. We can plug in external speakers if we want. We have a USB Type-C connection right here. We have a USB 3 port right next to that. Right here we have our power button, so we can obviously hit that to power everything on. Interesting. As I hit that, it actually got stuck. Look at that. One thing I want to mention right off the bat, because it's literally the first push on here, a little bit hard to see, but you can see that it actually gets stuck kind of off to the side. If you don't push this like straight in, it actually gets stuck underneath the edge of this little panel right here. So got good action to it, but if you were to just kind of pull it over, you can see how it does actually get stuck there. So that's interesting. I've never seen that before on a mini PC. Unfortunate that that happened on the first try, but you can see now that I know that it happens, I can continue to have that problem there. So All right, not a major issue by any means, but something worth mentioning as it did literally just pop up like that. So as we turn this around, you can see on the sides, We have excellent ventilation here, so we're going to get great airflow. I can tell right off the bat with this. Same thing up here on the top, and then the back side is open as well. So I think that this is going to remain very cool while we have this powered on. But let's take a look at the different port options on the back side here. First thing that I notice is we have our Ethernet connection over here, obviously. Next to that, we have two regular USB ports. We have a display port, we have an HDMI port, and we have a Type-C port over here, another Type-C port, and we have right below that another audio jack. So interesting to see that we are not having as many USB-A ports on here as what we typically see with mini PCs in general, but also with Beelink's products. We seem to be seeing more of the Type-C ports on here, which I've definitely seen a shift where more and more things are using Type-C for obvious reasons, but for controllers and different connections that we use typically for gaming, I definitely like to have USB-A connections as well. So I'm happy to see that we do have Type-Cs. I'm not sure that we need to have 3 of them in all honesty, but certainly is a good option, and you can always use an adapter if you find that you need more Type-A connections. You can just use a Type-C to Type-A adapter, and you'd be able to, convert those right over. Now down here we have our little cap here, which does come all the way off, and that is how we're going to connect over our magnetic power supply cable. So all we have to do is literally just line it up, and it clicks right into place. The nice thing about these is they don't dislodge. You literally have to unsnap them, because if you look closely on here, it's not just a magnetic connection, it actually snaps in place as well. So you can hear it click into place, you can hear it snap off when you remove it. So there's no risk of you tugging on this. It's not going to come out. Plus the fact that obviously over here we have a circle shape, and then it tapers off where the cable is. So even if you pulled that, even if you were to rock this, it's not going to come out, it's not going to dislodge. So I really like how secure that is. That is an issue that I've seen with a lot of mini PCs where, it's just usually one connection in the backside. And if you were to pick this up, not realizing that the cable was maybe shorter than you expected, it would just pull right out. And then if you're in the middle of a game or you're in the middle of anything on your PC, obviously that's going to put everything to an end really quickly. So definitely like the setup here. Now it's time to dive into this and see what our gaming experience is like. So I think we'll kick everything off with some retro video game emulation. We'll just check on the higher end collections, because I have a feeling that it's going to just rock and roll through everything. But we'll go through a handful of the high end collections with this, and then we'll jump into Windows 11 Pro, and we'll dive into some more advanced modern day titles. Let's get started.
Back from center. Runner. Touchdown. I don't know about this one. 25. Runners downfield. And that's
15 loud. Firework! First place! Great! Drone! Pony race! Firework! Reverse long shot! Lean left! Ruling the race! Drone! Ice!
Lights out, fuckers. Drop your knives. Go black. This way.
Fuck off! I hate it when they do that!
Drop something. Oh, it's your dignity.
All right, guys, so we just jumped out of the Beelink Ser7 Max. We tested this out with a wide range of games and game collections, and we had a great experience here. Now, I'm not surprised by that because I looked at the specs. I'm familiar with the GPU as well as the processor on board, and the specs in general are very beefy. They're very impressive. So, no surprises here. But we jumped into retro video game emulation through Batocera, and we saw that we had a great experience with GameCube, PS2, PS3, Wii U. And I didn't waste my time diving into anything prior to that because you're going to have a phenomenal experience with those. Much less expensive and less impressive mini PCs hit all the marks with those. So we're not going to have issues with N64, Sega Saturn, or anything prior. So it wasn't worth spending time diving into those today. PS3, I will mention, just for clarity here, I didn't have any issues today, but that doesn't mean you won't, because there are limitations to PS3 emulation, and that goes back to the emulator, which is getting better and better, but it's not perfect by any means. So I'm not saying that this is going to, absolutely kill it with every single PS3 game out there that you try to emulate. That's not the case, but that doesn't trace back to, issues with the PC. That's going to be limitations within the emulator itself. But great experience here with PS3 emulation with the titles that I jumped into. And I jumped into some more demanding titles than I typically do here. And again, great experience. We also jumped into Windows 11 Pro. I jumped into some games on my Steam account, as well as some PC games that I have on my game drive that I like to bring over to different mini PCs to do a full performance test. Everything I threw at this ran extremely well, no shortcomings at all. So no audio issues, no screen tearing, no sketchy sort of stutters or anything like that. Just really crystal clear gaming experience on here. So that actually makes this a little bit more complicated, because there's no apparent issues here that I experienced in gaming. So there's nothing that I can say steer clear of, except one thing that I do want to mention, and you guys saw this as we took a closer look at this. There is that issue with the power button, where if you don't push it straight in, it can actually slide to the side and it gets stuck on the frame. And I think this is a weird, sort of wonky issue to have, in all honesty. Is it, something that totally ruins the experience, or is bad enough where I'd say run away from this mini PC? No, but it's kind of a weird, stupid little issue to have on a mini PC like this. Usually when you have those soft power buttons, they don't sway back and forth when you push them in. They stay pretty consistent right there. They are like a rubber material, so they will have a little play, but they shouldn't slide, off track. So that's a weird issue that I think they need to address before they, dive into any future models here, because I didn't have that experience with the Ser7 Max. So again, you may have an issue where you go to hit your power button quick and it slides off track and kind of gets stuck. It does slide back. It's not going to break or anything like that, but it's, again, just kind of a stupid issue to have. It's such a minor thing that it should have been picked up on and corrected prior to them putting this into production. Now, I said that this was a little complicated now because we didn't have any noticeable issues in performance other than obviously the power button. So we have to gauge whether this is worth the increase in price from the previous model, which is the Beelink Ser7 Max. Now, I tested out the Beelink Ser7 Max. It's been my favorite mini PC for gaming up until this point, and I thought maybe this Ser7 Max is going to knock it off its pedestal. So we have to compare these two, because we had a great experience on both of these, and I jumped into a comparable amount of collections and games, and both sides worked extremely well. So if we did a full performance test on both sides of these two products here, the Ser7 Max versus the 7 Max, which one is going to be better at the end of the day? Well, the 7 Max is about a year newer. It has a better processor, and I'll actually tell you guys the info on the processors right here, because I have them up on screen, so I will be looking at the screen just so I don't misquote anything. But the Ser7 Max uses the AMD Ryzen 7 7840HS with max speeds of up to 5.1 gigahertz, while the Ser7 Max is going to be using the AMD Ryzen 9 6900HX, which gives you a max speed of up to 4.9 gigahertz. I know this confuses some people, because you would think that the Ryzen 9 would be better than the Ryzen 7, and in this case, that's not true. The Ryzen 7 does have better specs associated with it. It's going to give you those faster speeds. So comparing them performance-wise to each other, the Ser7 Max is the better option. But is it better by a landslide? No, it's really not a huge difference. Across the board, it's going to be slightly better. It's a little step forward, but it's not a massive step forward. And again, we jumped into titles on both of my review videos, and they were, in some cases, were some of the same titles, and it's a comparable experience there. To the naked eye, do you really notice a big difference on the Ser7 Max versus the 6 Max? Not really. So yeah, at the end of the day, there's advancements made on the Ser7 Max. It definitely has some steps forward in performance. But what's the price difference here? That's the big thing to consider. I don't have an issue with the Ser7 Max. I don't have an issue with the Ser6 Max, but there's a major price difference here of $230. And I think that is too big of a difference in all honesty. I think that if it was a $100 difference or $125 difference, then I'd say, all right, I can understand, go with the latest and greatest. It's a step forward in terms of performance, go that route. But $230, that just seems like too big of a price difference here for what I feel to the naked eye isn't a big difference in gameplay experience for the gamers out there. So I wouldn't say run towards the Ser7 Max unless you're somebody that wants the latest and greatest. Then I get it. It's going to be different for everybody, but you have a great experience on both ends. They offer comparable experiences. They have the same ports for the most part. They're built the same exact way. They visually look the same, aside from a difference of a 6 versus a 7. They both have great airflow. They both stay really cool. They both are absolute powerhouses for mini PCs with exceptional gaming performance associated with them. But that price point is just the biggest difference in all honesty. $230 is crazy to me. I think it should be maybe at the top of the line. The highest point, $150 difference here. I guess I could understand that, but $230 to me is just crazy. I don't see the advantage enough where I want to part with $230 to go with the Ser7 Max over the Ser6 Max. But let me know what you guys think. Do you see something that is a big enough of a difference where it makes sense to go with that higher price point? I just personally don't. But let me know in the comment section what you guys think. At the end of the day, though, I'm not, throwing shade at either of these products. I think they're both great. They both have just amazing specs and capabilities here. It's just the price point difference that, for me, I just can't get behind 100% at the time of this video anyways. So let me know again what you guys think in the comments. If you enjoyed the video today, please give me a thumbs up right here on the video. Huge help to me on YouTube as I try to further grow the channel. And of course, hit subscribe to stay in the loop for all future videos right here on the Retro Gaming Guy YouTube channel. Thanks so much for the support. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.